between Missouri and Kansas, and
Yeah.
they do reenactments and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
sure.
So it's, yeah, I get the whole. I really was educated that the Civil War really started in 1854 with the raids that they had in Lawrenceville. They burned, or Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah, they burned the whole town.
Yeah, sure.
Something Raiders. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. It was. I mean, we talk.
Yeah,
we
sure.
think about the stuff that goes on now with the right and the left.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy then.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, we could go on about that for. But I see that you have a new recording out. Is this pretty new? The long way.
It's been out for actually a couple years, and so
Okay.
some of that that song "Two Trees" that I just played, that's a new. So I'm working on some new material, and I should be in the studio in the next few months recording a new album. But that album's been out for a little while, and it's available on iTunes and also through. If people go to my website www.brentmalin.com, they can get that as well.
I always want to say Malin. It's Malin.
It's Malin, yeah.
Malin. Okay.
It's French for evil.
Is it really?
Well, apparently. Clever, It also means clever, but somewhere in there it also means evil.
Okay,
So.
well they kind of go hand in hand.
I guess so.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Depending on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brent, you want to dig in and do, in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs live here on WNJR 91.7 FM in Washington, and we're streaming live at WNJR.org. And you can instant message us at WNJR Radio is our handle on instant messaging. We have Brent Malin in the studio, and he's going to be playing a couple songs for us and talking about his time, how he came from Kansas to come to Pittsburgh. Brent, what are you going to do for us now?
I'm going to do a song actually off of Long, Long Way, and this is that album's a combination of band songs and solo acoustic numbers, and this is one of the band songs on there, but I'm gonna do it solo. And this is based on true events of my hometown in Newton, Kansas. So here we go. Small town boys that like to race their cars on Main Street. Souped up Camaro with full their hum so sweet. Late in August when the summer was hot, they'd open up a beer in the parking lot and they'd be tapping their boots to that ever-thumping rock and roll beat. They each got hitched and heard the patter of those little feet. They left their bomb cake party days buried in the Kansas weed. Yeah, my parents still sometimes have to beat a drink. Greg was snorting crank off the back of the sink, and they both had a 45 sitting by the driver's side seat. Greg, Mom, and Curtis Ford standing toe to toe in the math house door. Two small town boys went for one became a sheriff and the other robbed a liquor store. Good like the honor and the thrill of his black and white cop car. He helped his wife and his kids with the money from the solid steel star. And now Greg had timber and he had piss. Kitty's man with the bacon and his baby with his fist. Then his mother told him, make this time you're going a bit too far. Greg, Mom, and Curtis Ford standing toe to toe in the math house door. Two small town boys wept for one became a sheriff and the other robbed a liquor store. Good got the call, he said a little prayer under his calm breath. It seemed that Greg had oxygen, was tripping out on whiskey and crystal. Matthew in the door banged open and the shots rang out. Greg's hand was smoking and Greg was bleeding out. Greg's eyes were burning us cause I didn't do that off the death. Greg, Mom, and Curtis Ford, one was sitting up, the other down on the floor. Small town boys went for one became a sheriff and the other on the liquor store.
I like it, man.
Thanks.
Rocking out. So I'm looking here under your influences, and I like all of them. You know, those are kind of the same. You know, it's hard to put a list together.
Yeah, sure. And it changes, you know, develop all the time. You hear new people, you know. Like my next list is going to have you on there, right? You know, so you know, you hear these things and you're like, yeah. You know, all the people you listen to, great songwriters. So.
Yeah, well, thank you. That I think my value just went up a bit there.
Yeah.
But you know, Woody Guthrie, and I think of some of the balladeers. You know, when I hear some of your stuff, like Townes Van Zandt, Woody Guthrie, John Prine.
Yeah.
You know, tell me how you got into all this.
Sure. Well, I've been interested in music, you know, most of my life. My parents were both singers, not songwriters, but they were singers. And I grew up in the Methodist church, singing in choir. My parents were both in choir, and I did that, singing the hymns in church. And so that was one kind of influence. And then when I was a freshman in college in Kansas State University. My grandfather, my dad's dad, so my Grandpa Malin, he passed away, and he left me his guitar, actually, and so I actually ended up getting that for my 19th birthday. And it's funny, actually, I don't remember ever, he didn't play it while I was alive. He was elderly even by the time I was born, and so he wasn't really playing the guitar anymore. And I saw this guitar sitting in his room, but I don't remember saying anything about it or anything, but somehow, I don't know if it was intuitive or if I just don't remember expressing this interest. I was very interested in it, and I ended up getting it, and that's what got me started playing. So I basically been playing and writing since then, since I was 19 years old. And I sort of have wandered around in songwriting a little bit, but really kind of settled into this groove of these songs that the folk songs, the Americana songs that really touch back into some of those Kansas roots, and those influences you mentioned. You know, I mean, they're not Kansas songwriters, but they're Americana writers, and the storytelling bit is what I really like. You know, if you could tell a story, and a 3-minute story that really kind of gets at something interesting and sort of interesting and very everyday, down to earth. I think that's the kind of thing that John Prine does, and Woody Guthrie too, and so that's what part of what I've been trying to do since then, and I'm learning all the time too. That's why the influences change. You hear more people, you learn more things. So I'm still working at it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you say that you didn't spend any of your recent time there, but it's been 16 years since you've spent time. But
yeah.
It's like you go somewhere that you live and you take the elements. I've lived a lot of places, and I spent some time in Seattle, and it's like I still feel kind of connected after spending some time out there to just the elements of what life is like. I don't shop at Eddie Bauer
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of like it's weird how things become a caricature of themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, and for me too, it's so even like I said, even though I haven't lived in Kansas for 60 almost 20 years now, but I really do feel these roots, and part of it is, like I said, my parents still live there. They still live in Newton, Kansas.
Where is that?
It's near Wichita. It's about 40 miles north of Wichita.
So like tornado stuff is definitely in your yeah
that's in my experience. Yeah, when I hear the tornado warnings here, I usually don't get very worried about them. But
warnings here.
Yeah, but
well, I maybe
I should get more.